Hello and welcome to another edition of this. The global justice movement is a real thing. Main points in note form. We've had the protests at summits of heads of state, etc., including the G8, World Trade Organization, IMF, World Bank, World Economic Forum, etc. Protests against abusive corporations. Social forums, world and regional and national and local. Socialists, anarchists, hippies, trade unions, development charities, student campaigners, faith groups. From where I stand, it's easy to think it's a movement of Western campaigners fighting for a fairer world, but the movement is actually firmly rooted in the global South. Movimento Sem Terra, Via Campesina, People's Global Action, Zapatistas. Names: anti-capitalist, anti-globalisation. Anti-capitalist is a label some in the movement would adopt, but others less so it's not all-encompassing enough to describe the whole movement. Anti-globalisation is misleading. We're not against the emergence of an interlinked global civilization, we're against corporations dominating people on the planet. Global justice will do. The movement is global, and it's about social and environmental justice. The movement burst onto the scenes, at least in the eyes of the West, with the Battle of Seattle protests against the World Trade Organization in November 1999. You could, however, trace it back to the Zapatista uprising in Chiapas, Mexico, 1994, where they called for a global uprising against neoliberalism. I believe at the core of the movement is the ethos of non-hierarchicalism and consensus decision-making. Not all sections of the movement are committed to this. For example, socialist groups active in summit protests and anti-war protests do not believe in non-hierarchical and leaderless and consensus-based organising. But for me, it's the major thing. It seems to me the movement has three phases. One, the big protests to show the world, here we are, and here's what's wrong. Two, the social forums, to discuss alternatives and say another world is possible. Three, we build those alternatives. We don't wait until the revolution has happened. We start building that new world now. It started already. Anyone can join in any time. How to do this? For me, it's going to be about setting up workers' cooperatives which operate non-hierarchically, with the aim that these can eventually make the 20th century style corporation redundant. This, I believe, is the way forward for a new kind of economy. This is what I want to be involved in. If I'm not doing this soon, please wake me the fuck up.